brought up above my parents' hardware shop, and that was on a housing estate in Bath. My father, he had a drum kit when he was young, and he also played piano by ear. He still does to this day. As kids in the 60s, we were all very aware of the creative explosion of music. And it wasn't just the music, it was just a wonderful time for everything, fashion. That was a very special time for me. I first performed in 1966 at a Young Liberals summer party. The band was called St James Infirmary. We were all 14 years of age. And the guy who drove us around had brought an old ambulance from the local hospital that was called St James Infirmary. The gig was a typical 60s experience. Candles in wine bottles, mini skirts and beatnik beards. And even now I want to keep that excitement of the first gig inside me. I'm sure most musicians must feel that way. Well, in the early days, it was Sam and Dave, Martha Reeves, Otis Redding. It was soul music. If I wanted to play Knock on Wood properly, I had to get to grips with the bass drumming. And this was the case with most soul music of that era. It was the best thing for me, and has kept my style solid ever since. Once 67, 68 came along, the band changed to playing blues. The British blues revolution had arrived, and our band was renamed Blue Condition. We enjoyed playing Cream, John Mayall, Hendrix, Spooky 2, and the highlights for us were supporting Chicken Shack at the Bath Pavilion, and Matthew Sun and Comfort at the Winter Gardens, Weston-super-Mare. We were just kids, and we were just awestruck. From 18, I chose to spend 2 years on the club scene in Middlesbrough and the North East. There was plenty of work up there in the early 70s. A lot of heavy industry, mining towns. My memorable gigs would be the South Bank Club before it was burnt down, Star and Garter in Middlesbrough. If they liked you there, they didn't tend to throw anything. Brambles Farm. All these were tough areas and tough gigs. It was a baptism of fire for a southern softy from Bath. We all lived in the agent's house on Linthorpe Road in Middlesbrough. His name was Joe Vipon. He lived with his family and all the other travelling artists. I was just the baby of the band. I would go to Stockton Fiesta Club, which had all international bands playing there. And hooked up with Adrian Tillotson, who was the drummer of the house band there. And he taught me a lot of things too. It was a good time. By 1975, I was back home and into heavy rock, jazz rock, funk and Latin. And I formed the band Bronze. The name was based on the colour of the band member's skin. That lasted through the summer. It was reformed in 76 as Bronze without an E. Myself as a founder member, Chris Golston on guitar and Simon Thomas on bass. And by this time we were getting heavy and technical, gigging in such places as upstairs at Ronnie Scott's, Marquee in London, and the Stonehenge Festival. That lasted for 4 years. I felt the need then to move on. But the band still exists with the same members. I loved the funk and jazz scene of the early 80s in Bristol. So I got involved collaborating with Bristol musicians, especially female vocalists such as Nicky Lambourne and Sylvana. That band was called at that time Climax. But in the mid-80s, my family needs came first, and I moved into business for quite a lot of years. Now I'm back at the studio, a purpose-built DW kit that suits all my needs. And I'm blessed with a network of experienced musicians who I can play with here and around Robin Hood Bay. I wanted to prove to myself that I could achieve a physical and technical level, and that I feel comfortable with that. My love for music is still strong. I'm an emotional performer. I like to drive the beat. I want connection between my fellow musicians, and most of all, with the audience. I'm ready to tour and want live sessions. I really enjoy collaborating. I want to make other musicians and the audience happy. It's got to be the bass guitar. For me, it encompasses everything. Just thinking of a 4, 5, 6 string, fretted, fretless, the actives, very powerful heads with graphic equalizers. I love Stanley Clarke, Bootsy Collins, Glenn Hughes especially. The bass can be so powerful, it gets you in the stomach, it can fill in a complete and awesome way, but dynamically it can be very tender and sensitive, or highly expressive. There's a lead, interlocking with drums, sound and rhythm. Of course, bass players that operate like that don't grow on trees, but I have been privileged to play with a few. Well, I'm going to promote myself nationally, internationally, and the internet is a wonderful thing. The guys I play with at the moment are experienced and have all done American and European tours. You might have recognised Charles O'Connor of Horselips in the Celtic piece that we played. He is still touring. We're happy to play blues clubs around and about. And every now and again, venues at home in Robin Hood's Bay. Musically speaking, I'm ready to stretch my legs, and I have a lot to offer. And I need to share it. Now is the time. My drum heroes will be John Heisman, Ainsley Dunbar, Dave Holland, Steve Gadd, Steve Baroni, John Bonham, Buddy Rich. In fact, I try to listen to every drummer. There is always something to learn. I truly love and believe in the concept of a three-piece. Having the individual power to deliver all-encompassing wall of sound down to an intimate, sensitive expression. That is dynamic concept I love. Interlocking bass and drums, producing driving rhythms, allowing a musical palette or platform for guitar or keyboards. It's about the power and the excitement I feel that can be generated in the hands of creative and disciplined musicians. Tonal ranges that can achieve a full and filling, bright and expressive delivery. People love three-piece bands. They always have. And I believe the discipline required can give each individual musician the self-expression and freedom, the goal to create a musical situation that can inspire genuine virtuosity in front of the audience. I want to ride on the wings of inspiration. I want to share that with people. For me, that would be very exciting, very fulfilling. Well, the future, as far as I'm concerned, is to do with young musicians. And one such musician would be somebody like Chantel McGregor, who I've seen play a few times now. She has a real ability to go off onto a musical trance. She plays blues with a lot of depth. She's fantastic to watch. I'm in a unique situation where I can touch upon my musical experiences through all the musical decades. It's not a game for me. It's looking after myself, working out, exercising, managing my body and focusing on my abilities. That's my priority and my enjoyment, and I just want to share it all.